I'm Councilwoman Jan Perry. This is the Information Technology and General Service Committee, and it is a few minutes after 1 o'clock. We are in room 1010, and I believe we are ready to get started. What is the first item, Mr. Clerk?
Item number 1 is a report from the City Administrative Officer relative to the sale of a city-owned property located at 8131 South Delgani Avenue in Playa del Rey.
All right, let's have a quick report on that.
Good afternoon, Councilmember Delilah Pucha with the Office of the CAO. The proposed property is a residential property located at 8131 South Delgani Avenue in Council District 11. The proposed sale is to a private buyer who has been occupying the property for the past 10 years. The city currently has a month-to-month rental agreement with the proposed buyers. The city originally purchased the property in 1998 as a result of a settlement agreement. This property is one of 6 properties which were acquired as a result of those properties damaged through the construction of the North Outfall Sewer Project. Since then, BOE reports that a grouting project to stabilize the soil was completed in 2008, and the subsidence has been abated.
Okay, are they going to hold the city harmless?
Yes, there is a clause in the ordinance that holds them as is, and BOE did recommend that they hire a private geotechnical consultant to conduct an evaluation prior to the purchase of the property and close of escrow.
Okay, that'll be without, just with a recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Number 2.
Item number 2 is a motion from Council Members Perry and Parks relative to transferring ownership and title of the city-owned facility located at 2824 South Main Street to the Los Angeles Conservation Corps. This one was also referred to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Okay. Is there anybody here to make a report on that? No? No. It's been referred. This is probably my last committee, so there's no reason to hold it here. Let it go to Budget and Finance.
We'll just do the report and then we'll send it to Budget.
It's already been sent to Budget, right?
You can adopt the motion. You can adopt the motion, Madam Chair.
It's been referred to Budget already, right?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, so then,
Adopt the motion.
okay, sorry, we're going to go ahead. It's going to go to Budget and then come to Council for full vote. And this is a good thing because it'll open up long-term grant opportunities. So, all right.
So this one will be approved?
Yeah.
From our committee?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Okay. 3?
Item number 3 is a motion from Council Members Zine and Perry relative to the transfer of jurisdiction of 5340 Canoga Avenue to the Department of Recreation and Parks for the development of a community park.
Anybody here to speak on that item? Okay, great.
Sid Makarag, Department of Recreation and Parks. Council member, we're supportive of this transfer to our department. We understand that the building hasn't been used and is a nuisance to the community, and therefore we welcome the transfer to Rec and Parks so that we can plan as to what we will be doing with the property afterwards.
Okay, great. That'll be with recommendation. Move forward. Number 4, right?
Item number 4 is reports from the City Attorney and the Board of Recreation and Parks relative to the acquisition of real park property located at 1138 and 1144 South St. Andrews Place for the development of the St. Andrews Place Park. This will be in council on June 11, 2013.
So you're going to take this by eminent domain?
Yes, we've been unable to negotiate a voluntary purchase and sale.
Now, with eminent domain, you may end up spending as much as the guy wants. Is there any activity that you can engage in, like a mediation or something like that, bring it into mediation before you go ahead and file eminent domain? Because when you start paying legal fees, you could end up spending more than the property is actually worth.
Well, this is not inverse condemnation, so the property owner is not necessarily entitled to legal fees in defense of...
No, I'm talking about expenditures on our part.
On our part.
Yeah.
Yeah, expenditures will certainly increase the cost if it goes all the way to trial. But we've been unable to negotiate a voluntary transaction. The property owner has indicated that he wants twice what the city...
No, I understand. I got the notes right here.
Okay.
Is there a city attorney here who can speak to?
I am the city
Oh, you
attorney,
said-
yeah.
Is there any other legal means that you can engage this property owner, like a mediation, prior to filing an action against the property owner?
Generally speaking, mediations don't, at least court-sanctioned mediations don't happen until the case is filed. And then sometimes, or oftentimes these days, the case is sent out for mediation to try to avoid going all the way to trial. But prior to that, unless we got an agreement, a voluntary agreement with the property owner to engage in a voluntary mediation, we wouldn't have any jurisdiction to proceed
Well,
on
if
that.
the property owner receives a threat of litigation or something like that, he might reconsider. But I'll tell you what, I don't like to do things this way, but I'm not going to be here after June the 30th, so I would be recorded as a no with recommendation, okay? Because I would recommend that you try to find other legal measures or avenues to undertake prior to filing an action, because you know how quickly, even in terms of employee costs, that you'll expend to engage this individual into conveying this property over to the city for $500,000. You'll probably end up spending twice that much just to get it. So, I mean, I did a lot of CRA work. I know how much these things kind of cost. So, can I do a no with recommendation?
A no with recommendation? Well, because you're the only member, I believe that this would be be disapproved.
I don't want to hold it up because, they can fight it out on the council floor. But
Would you like to forward without recommendation?
I'll forward it without recommendation.
Okay.
All right, and those are my suggestions. I hope that you find some other way to deal with this.
Okay, we'll
That's less
certainly,
expensive.
we'll certainly appraise. And could I ask the clerk to just make sure that there are no cards for speaking or anything on this matter?
Yeah, are there any cards on this item? This is item number 4. Or any
1138 and 1144 South St. Andrews Place, in case,
or any members of the public here
I
regarding
want to
that
make
item?
sure that we do the due
Just wanted
diligence
that
on
for
this.
the record.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Number 5?
Item number 5 is a joint report from the City Controller and the Information Technology Agency relative to a request for approval to execute 2 amendments to contracts with CGI Technologies and Solutions Incorporated to establish a long-term, cost-effective support model for the city's financial management system.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Ted Ross, Assistant General Manager with the Information Technology Agency. As you certainly know, the city implemented successfully the financial management system in 2011. Since then, as with any complex computer program, we've had assistance from the vendor, CGI. So one thing what we've been negotiating and working out through the Information Technology Oversight Committee is what would be an appropriate long-term support model. We currently have multiple CGI contractors on site, and so we identified a very cost-effective, but at the same time we think a very capable model that would be significantly less expensive, where we'd be using their enhanced maintenance services package. So we'd be utilizing their help desk center in San Antonio, Texas. We'd reach out to them in case we had issues. We'd log tickets with them. That service also provides a few other items associated with it that would be benefits at a savings of about $1 million per year. As part of it would also be a bit of a transition process so that city staff would be taking on greater responsibility. And it's what we identified to be a long-term approach for support of the financial
Okay, so you're
system.
talking about consolidating functions to create these savings.
Yes,
Okay.
as well as it's significantly different level of, since we've been stabilizing, it's significantly easier to support the system compared to it was before. We still, of course, have issues, but we feel confident that we could utilize an off-site model as opposed to them being on-site to support the system.
Okay, recommend approval. Thanks.
Thank you.
Number 6.
Item number 6 is a motion from council members Buscahino and Perry relative to acquiring the property at 406 North Gaffey Street in San Pedro for the development of Phase 2 of the Gaffy Welcome Park.
Okay, Mr. Buscahino wants to hold this in committee since he's not here today. So we'll save it for the next agenda, whoever, ends up being the chair. Okay, number 7.
Item number 7 is a communication from the city attorney and resolution relative to the request to destroy certain obsolete records from the Ethics Commission for the period of January 14th, 1980.
Any cards on this?
No, we have no cards on this one.
All right, so that'll be, move forward with recommendation. Number 8,
Number 8 is also an obsolete record request. It's a communication from the city attorney and resolution relative to destroy certain obsolete records from the Lacers for the period of October 1st, 2012 to December 31st, 2012.
okay, no cards?
No cards.
Okay, well, that'll be the recommendation. That marks the end of our agenda, am I correct?
I believe it is.
All right, this is the time period which anyone who wishes to come forward and comment on items that are not on the agenda. This is the public comment period. You can come forward now and make your comments on the record. Anybody wishing to come forward? Otherwise, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.